G'day guys, spring's come, look at this, weather's perfect. Welcome to Racing Rant. It's our 3rd or 4th or 5th episode, I can't remember.
It's the Rant, man.
I said Racing Rant. Oh, the Rant. There you go. Rant. Here we are, beautiful. Here we are in the park. We have to talk to them, we might just sun ourselves. What do you think, Gordo?
Beautiful day.
You don't look like your sun that good actually, you're a bit fair.
Yeah, I don't wear yellow.
Yeah, we replaced one ginger pale bloke with another ginger pale bloke.
Yeah, still got the planes as you can hear, and a bit of feedback from Gordo in part 2, but part 1, the review of
Saturday's racing.
Yeah, and gee, it looked a tricky track, man.
Yeah, look, it was, you know, all tracks are tricky, aren't they? All tracks are tricky, but yeah, you had to be in a certain spot, and I think a lot of horses on the day performed well, and a couple performed particularly poorly.
So was there a key to it? Because I mean, you know, you through the course of Mounting Yard Mile, you really warmed up late. Did you spot an opening there?
Look, I just picked the fit horses all sort of at the top of their game. That's all I did, and that's all I continue to do. And I don't know, you know, no, not really. No, not really. I mean, you were in Melbourne, so you feel like you're a mile away from it.
Well, I tell you what, I was in Melbourne, and can I tell you, the new regime in Victoria with corporates determining the flux, it felt really weird. It felt like the bookies were completely irrelevant, and there was just no. If you can get set with the corporates, that's even less of a reason to go to the track.
Wow.
Well, I wonder what the turnover figures with the bookies were.
Well, I'd be interested to learn, you know, what the difference between Moonee Valley 2 weeks ago and Moonee Valley on Saturday were, you know, whether it was a significant decrease in turnover. Better racing on Saturday, so
yeah.
But anyway, that was Moonee Valley. It was a bit cold, but it wasn't. The track was pretty good at Moonee Valley, whereas we had a really sticky looking Randwick track where I don't think you wanted to be too wide.
Yeah, and it was hard. Yeah, you know, like horses like Felines, who I tipped on top in the last, but going out there, I didn't even have it in my quaddy leg numbers. Not that I took the quaddy, I didn't bother, but when I originally did work my quaddy out, it wasn't because I thought this horse will fail on a wet track. The track was like a 5 or a 6. You know, you look at the replays, I think that's stuck into it. It was just a tiring winter track.
And how'd the times line up?
Well, look, obviously the track was soft, because if they say heavy 8, you know it's slow.
Yeah.
You know, they want to say it's like they put the Hawkesbury up 10 and they quickly went to an 8. It's like, well, hang on, you know, the sky is falling, and then hang on, the sky didn't fall.
Right. Yeah. You know, as far as a couple of horses, I mean, I tipped So Willie in the first, and obviously it came back lame, but you know, didn't participate really at all.
Well, they've crawled. I mean, I'm watching that race on the TV. I'm going, wow, can they go any slower? They've gone 66 seconds for the first 1,000.
Fair enough. And then Japanese being the last one I'm trying to talk about is some of these Wallet horses, gee, they can fail. They don't just get beat, they get really beat.
We used to say that about Gay, or we still say that about Gay. You know, there was
trying to work out these horses I sort of unload on from that stable. Not that I wanted to be involved with Japanese man, I didn't want to be involved, I wanted to be all over Felines, but I wanted to be all over So Willie. I'm trying to do some thoughts about having a really good bet to win and getting something out of them the place.
Okay.
Okay. Japanese got any chance this prep or not?
I don't know what to do with Japanese. It was just awful, wasn't it? Awful. But, you know, time will tell.
Right, so we'll kick off with the first, which was obviously a...
Yep.
It was one of those races. Yeah, well, you tipped So Willie, and you're tipping a horse that's coming back from 2000 into a crawling 1600, and then he gets into the wrong part of the track.
Yeah.
You know,
there was no hopes bar 2.
Yeah,
There
anyway,
really seemed no hope.
there's really no point in further talking about the race, because from a future viewpoint, it's dead and buried.
Dead and buried.
Right.
The second race,
I thought McDougall actually held it up too much. I think he could have let it
I'd agree with that.
Would have won easy.
And the Betfair in play said the same thing. It was in front, trotting, but pulling, and up pop, plenty of $2.98 in the run.
Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? Well, look, for mine, the temptation for jockeys to go too slow is all the time, particularly on a horse like that. It's 1900 back to 1600. You just want to see it let run.
Yeah, but they get concerned about stewards' points of views, owners, trainers. You went too far, son. If you get beat, I mean, we've seen stewards drag them in for saying, you know, like I was waiting for the stewards to drag Paul King on Love the Beaches when he led by 15 that day and happened to win by 6. But if he had got beaten, he would have been straight into the stewards' room.
That's bad.
Of course, there was a lot of things about stewardship. You know, like they're referees, like referees of the football, and they can make the odd decision which is incorrect. I think that's fair. The only people that make the right decisions are punters because they win or lose. So when they make a wrong decision, at least they lose because of it.
Yeah, and they take responsibility for it. It's not else's fault, is it?
Yeah, you've got to be responsible for all your gambling.
Well, big hello to Mark Wall, race 2, because
Yeah,
the
well done, Dowson
Mark
Charlie.
him, Dowson Charlie, who both Gordon and I poured cold water on the preview show, just kept whacking away there.
Did you guys really pour cold water? Because I didn't do the preview show, I didn't realise about this.
I poured cold water on it, but said because it was a distance race, therefore it made it a bet. So I don't know, is that covering your bases? I think so.
Because you're
anyway,
such a bad
congratulations.
judge in a staying
Yeah,
race, you figured
yeah.
that people should back it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just read out Mark's. Well, I read out Mark's thing. Hi guys, tell Gordon to get his blinkers off. His attitude to this is from Mark Wall, he's a good friend of the show. His attitude towards milder stays is ridiculous. Just in case he didn't realise, the most high-profile and interesting races around the world and Australia are a mile, middle distance, and staying races, and that's fair commentary. If he had his way, he would be watching betting on 900 to 1100 metre races every day of the week. And oh, by the way, training a stayer is a lot more challenging and skillful than training a sprinter. Regards, Mark. Yes, Gordo, aim up.
I think that's all true, Mark. The thing is, we're a punting show, and I don't win money in distance races. I win money under 1600 metres. So I'm only interested in races where I can win money. And if I'm talking to our fans out there, I want to give them angles to actually win money, and I don't have one over distance races. So it's more due to my lack of ability over distance races that I don't comment on them.
Okay, we'll expect a nice email next week from Mark saying, never thought of it that way, Gordo, you're a nice fella, and I apologise.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. But the point about race 2 was, can you imagine Betfair running down the straight there? Because on the turn, Dubai and Style looked in control of the race. Dowson Charlie was under immense pressure. And then at the 200 metre mark, the stablemate just had the race cold.
Cold.
Down it
was home.
But I have seen that at 6 metre rails at Randwick, where they come down the rise and you think something is going to happen, and then the last 200 metres something else happens.
They go up like this and they kick on like that. I know exactly what you mean there, and it's annoying. I remember thinking, why didn't I start my shin? I would have laid that at long odds on. I think Thunder
Down under.
Oh, that's racing, isn't it? Look, in a way, another wall of failure there. Like, Dubai Style had that race completely shot. Won.
The betting didn't say it.
Betting didn't say it.
No.
Betting never said it at all.
But is that? Well, look, here's a horse that's had a PR its last 2 starts, and it's even money. So doesn't matter what. I don't care what the rest of the field is. I'm going to lay it.
Possibly. And the 4 weeks off, was it? Was it 4 weeks off?
Would have been 3. Would have been 21 days.
21 days, isn't it? Yeah. Just Wallace Stable's going to drive all punters mad, but for one reason, they have such a big stable.
Yeah,
and you're involved in so many of their horses.
Well, look, DK Weir is having exactly the same effect on punters down south.
Yeah, and you get the mug, well, not the mug, I hate saying that word, but the person that comes to the races for the one day a year, they go, oh, I back Chris Waller because he trained so many winners. And you'll walk away and just, Anyway, there you go.
So then we came to a race with some interest for the future, which is a 3-year-old race.
We had a bit of, a couple of times the internet, and we apologise for that, but it crashed on course, and 2 times our set didn't go out. Our set for this race was high miss, nearly a good thing on top. And but anyway, you can go.
Yeah, so there's I think the first point to say about this race is that Hawks 3-year-olds, they are just so potent, aren't they? They come back in the second preparation.
Did you hear what he said on Racing Retro yesterday, the young Hawks man, or what's his name? Michael. Seems a good style of bloke. How many 3-year-old races have they won?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I thought a lot, but they've had 11 out of 12 in Sydney in their last 12 starts.
3-year-old races.
Yeah. 3-year-old winners.
But they're freaks too, just coming.
11 out of 12.
All right, so of their 3-year-olds, okay. So that
I don't know. I don't know if it was 11 individual 3-year-olds. I doubt it.
So that's like the last winner on Wednesday is a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
But it was in an older horses race. So.
But 11 out of 12.
Yeah, I just think that they've clearly got a very good handle on those horses. Firstly, they've got a team that represent that have a lot of scope for improvement when they come back in their 3-year-old. You know, well-bred horses.
Yeah, well-bred horses.
And they seem to really be clued in on how to bring them back and how to get them.
They're obviously spelling the grouse joint, the feed's perfect, and they're coming back developed and ready to, like, be big and strong, and Swear was big and strong.
Well, I think they can really pick the ones that have improved as well, because it comes from really weird form lines. So you know what I mean. You've got Melbourne stuff at Geelong, comes to
Sand, Geelong, 1,000 up to 1,200.
comes up to Sydney in a metropolitan race and runs fantastic. They seem to have a really good eye for which horse.
I don't know if you guys have done the tapes from Saturday, so I have. That Swear, the whole way down the straight, if you watch it, get your tapes and watch it, he leads with both legs in, so it's like getting on the wrong leg. As he does it, he's not in his gait at all. Once he learns to get like that, I think it's a pretty special horse.
Okay,
I don't know how he won.
So yeah, he's a horse with scope. The horse that you tipped, Glenn High Mist, I did think was pretty unlucky as well. Like, you made the right play of going underneath them, but he just didn't get the right breaks.
He didn't get the right breaks. It was racing, but it was for the people that get my stuff. I suppose it worked out well. You didn't get my stuff that race. The only person affected was bloody me. But
so what about the others, Glenn? Skylight Glow is a filly returning. How did she shape
rated
up?
well. She'll be improved, and she got in for a nice prep.
And the surprise, I suppose, surprise packet of the betting there was Bit Dusty, who seemed pretty well found for a lucky Beaumont win. You know, he was just there, and the Rick O'Shea horse perhaps should have won. And why was he so well found on?
Is Horwitz in that horse?
Yes.
I think that Horwitz is a tipping machine, a bit of a punt. I think they're always in the market, those
Okay.
Horwitz colours. Them the old Siddhartha colours.
Right, and Taj Mahal, the other one in the market.
Very pooey in the market. Very, very pooey. Got out as much as 480, didn't it, good?
Yeah.
And didn't parade as well as it can.
No improvement, I think, was the comment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See, Devin Gordon remembers all my comments now. Like Dallas is, I never remember anything. I'm a blah.
So the highway race was race 4, where Grand Rouge finally got his breakthrough win. Usual highway stuff, they're all plugging away there on the speed.
Whacking away.
You know, whack, 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 whack. There's just nothing to say.
Not much to say about that. The interesting about the race was how short the favourite became into. Didn't get into 260, even though it did a great job. And I thought, I took Grand Rouge on top from Mounting Armour.
Two things for form in highway races is Saturday Metropolitan runs are the form, top form going into highway, and if not that, it's actual highway runs, and just pen the rest of them. So Mark found it. He
Pen Narromine wins or anything.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
pen.
Just pen. All you're looking for is if it's had a Saturday Metropolitan run, obviously that's number one, and number two, it's actually run in highways.
Okay.
They're just the superior horses, and one of those horses will generally win the race.
Despite the fact that they all look so terribly slow.
Yeah.
Yes, the highway races they're not bad betting races, but they're sort of forgettable in terms of dissecting the form. By the way, they are just what they are.
There's exceptions to that rule, but when 100 to 1 shot gets up, you just got to cop it on the chin. So, yeah.
Which has happened a few times. The 1400 metre race, the high grade, the benchmark 92, saw the return of Saritza up against the very much up and running Burning Passion, and I would have to say after Saturday that Burning Passion's pretty much done his dash now.
What does that mean? Like,
I mean, he's used every marble.
right.
Like he's had this succession of runs with a trial between every run.
Okay.
And for mine,
So what are you saying? He's going to be spelled, or we want to be against him if he's up again this preparation?
I think he's to be opposed next time.
Because it wasn't really a PR.
Well, what do you mean it wasn't really a PR? They didn't go very fast.
They seemed to attack early.
So you
To the eye.
had Tester Shadow
Yeah.
finally making it OSL. But like all Kerrin did was just hold his line. He didn't push his horse along to be there.
Okay.
I thought that the very pooey in the betting Saritza was given no chance the way it was written.
I'm definitely going to be backing Zaritza next start. I thought it was a good first up run. Loomed up like it could win after being posted 3 wide. Condition just gave out, so I think it's a horse to follow. Burning Passion, if it runs in 2 weeks' time, I'll be laying it. If it has a freshen up of 20 to 30 days and a barrier trial, I'll probably be backing it.
Yeah, but what about the fact that it's actually
coming
won
to
on?
form.
It's actually like it's had its last 4 or 5 runs all on pretty wet tracks. You know, they're dead set winter tracks that he's been running.
If we're saying slow 5 on Saturday,
Yeah, but it's a slow track that's a wet track. It's not a slow track that might be a dead track.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Jury's out, mate. Jury's out.
I haven't managed to convince anyone there, and I made Burning Passion my best bet, and it was targeted. It certainly was targeted, wasn't it?
Let's get to the next race.
Heavily
Good
backed
race
by
the next race.
every big guy out there.
Seminole race, the fillies race, was an exciting affair, wasn't it? And especially for those.
Sorry for me, $9 a winner. I tipped it second from Manning Up Mail, and it looked to have a great chance. Huey steered it perfectly, and I had a bit of luck with the way Global Glamour was ridden.
Yeah. So what you thought he was? It didn't seem to do it that tough, Global Glamour. Like it sat sort of 3 wide behind. There was a horse 3 wide outside the lead.
I'm not saying it was ridden poorly, because that's where I suppose it was always going to be. But it just, I think if it gets some sort of PR in closer, it's in the finish. I think it's a pretty smart horse.
I think Mark said he didn't think it was. Sorry, Glenn said you didn't think it was ready. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And if it runs like that when it's not ready, what's it going to do next start? So
yeah, Global Glamour certainly
certainly
a horse to follow in that race. Fox Play is where do we put her in the scheme of things? Given that she's sort of had a short break and may have been a bit better suited in that race.
I think she's a real little pro. I think she's a line chaser. I think the more speed on in a race, the better she'll go. And I think she's a good little horse.
She had a very similar preparation for this race than Winks did 2 years ago.
Right.
You know, that midwinter sort of Rose Hill Saturday stuff.
Yep.
And the 2 months off into this race.
Yeah.
Look, I guess what I'm trying to suggest is, I'm not too sure whether she had a bit of an advantage with that preparation.
Yeah.
So we've mentioned Global Glamour.
Baccarella obviously raced particularly well.
What's going well?
Going really well.
Goes well by Baccarella.
And the full force, poked along in the inside there. Smart. What's it called?
Smart Amelia. It was my sneaky tip for the race. Smart Amelia, who went quite well.
Went really well.
And what about Awoke?
I don't know. A little bit of watching the replay and watching the way it paraded. It's a bit of a doesn't really have a sprint. Might be like a mile or 2,000 metre time.
Right.
And stayer.
So the steward's report says, well, Garden thought it didn't go that badly. Only got beaten 14. What do you say about it?
Got beaten 14 lengths then? I didn't know I got beaten 14 lengths.
Interestingly, if you read the steward's report, Bowman's saying the trainer said the inside is the best going earlier in the program, and then the very next race he's going wide on Saritza, and then Gunn is wide on Awoke, whereas Huey's like on Fox Play is sneaking the right runs.
Again, the Wallace table, it's going to send you cuckoo because you're going to have 5 runners a race every race soon. You're going to have to work around the fact that Chris has got a massive team.
All right, anything else?
Not much to say about that race.
What about the Victorian that came up here, that Stephen King?
Stephen King went past me. I said, g'day Steve, this looks like a baked rabbit. And he just looked at me and then he started laughing. It was a rat. Can't believe how well it went. What a run.
I ran 4th or 5th.
Went terrific.
I thought it had a pretty good run.
It's a rabbit. Dead set baked rabbit is. Little tiny skinny little thing. And not only a baked rabbit, suited by the conditions. Get it on a fast track in Sydney, get distance.
And honesty prevails. She returned in her second preparation after being
very well back late.
Revved the shit out of
back late. $15 they bet. They're taking 9.20 as they jump. That's a good firm on a Saturday, especially when they're taking 9.20 on the fair. Had a bit of condition, looks in good order. I think it's a horse to keep an eye on in the future as far as getting better.
She's had 2 runs at Randwick for disgusting runs. Well, but wrong part of the track first time when she was left as the $1 favourite in that tiny field. Remember?
Yeah, with Fern. Who won it? Fern Hill or something? Or Fern.
French Fern.
French Fern. I knew it was a Fern. Though. Yeah. Well, I you're saying is she exposed, or I think there's still some hope.
Very forgiving, our man G. Pollard, but this is the information we wish to hear. So then we had the procession race, where I was ruined by the fact that I didn't get really a chance to think about the race after Winks came out, whereas
the marketplace does.
Yes.
Little technical issue. You ranters are used to it out there. This joint's always been held together with plasticine. We pride ourselves on that. We were talking about Hartnell and what a great job it did on Saturday and where it's going to go. If it is up against Winks, McDonald said that he thought Winks would still beat it, or was it better?
So is that the plan? Are they going to meet up in 2 weeks' time?
I don't know.
Because we actually want someone to have a go at Winks, don't we?
Well, this horse will. This horse will be third up, coming off a. This horse will beat it.
You heard it here on the rant. It was obviously the question of the day because Hartman went like a complete rocket the other day. And is Rick actually going better? Has the team sort of bedded down now to a point where they're certainly more reliable? I mean, what was interesting was he produced Federal in a 1,000-metre race,
Did a really
and it
good
ran
job,
up to win. And I'm thinking, wow, he's on his game, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting race, that race, because there wasn't many hopes in that last race with Japanese fella. I mean, there was really only Fearlines and Federal because the country Cadia didn't, it just bounced.
Well, Hidden Pearl took up a lot of percentage of the market. What did you say about it?
It's hard against it. It walked around like a skinny little. It was doing a few. It wasn't.
Don't give anything away.
No, it wasn't.
Huh?
It wasn't a chance. So it didn't leave you with many chances. It left you with Fearlines, Federal, and Japanese.
I don't think there's much to take out of that, is there? Not Feelines is always a chance over 1,000 metres.
Always a
That's
chance
about
over
it.
1,000 metres.
Yeah, she's become a neat little 1,000-metre Randwick horse,
Great
and they
horse.
do run a number of 1,000-metre races at Randwick.
What are you saying about the?
The
George.
penultimate,
Yeah.
the tramway, where Haraki Blaslow Romain, who was getting up the inside, Dibiani set outside the lead most of the way. It somewhat was given his chance, and Happy Clapper was doing what you would expect Happy Clapper to do.
Exactly what the marketplace said it would do, like 48 hours before.
But why did it go up favourite Happy Clapper? It just wasn't. Saturday wasn't its day.
It wasn't its day. I suppose people think, and they're right, it's best horse in the race, which it is. The whole of the race was gust of wind coming in, tail off last, and knowing that it's going to be retired and I never have to look at its form again. Gee, I love when horses finish their careers.
I'm saying with Happy Clapper, the corporates, it's a people's horse. So the corporates don't let any pros bet until 9 o'clock in the morning, so make the people's horse short, take all the mugs money, and then adjust the market at 9 o'clock the morning of the races. So
Possibly.
Interesting idea, Gord.
Bit of good gold there, Mr. Moore.
So, but that's another seminal race. That race where we had the blue colours. It somewhat was well backed, and Haraki wasn't. What happened there?
Haraki was a bit firm late in the fair, I'll tell you. It did firm on the fair late, and it's somewhat, it was a massive result for me. I think it went okay, but, the winner's a Dooming Cup place getter. It's a good horse.
I marked the winner 5-1. I should mention at this point.
Penny at $15 was bet.
And Gordon and I were very keen on Le Romain.
Barrier beat it.
I think it was doable. I think it was doable to win like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was better if you weren't trying to chase them down on the inside.
Dibiani was the surprise pack of the race, a jumping favourite, hasn't run in 3 years, which is an interesting stat.
But I mean, Bishan actually gave it every chance.
I'm talking about jumping favourite, having won in 3 years. You don't often see that on a Saturday.
So why was Dibiani so well found?
I don't know. And that was the interesting fact. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe it was the up and run. It was up and running because it had run back in the Ori Star down the straight at Flemington.
Harakai had the form round the right horses
Yeah, my word it did.
and a 1,000-metre trial as well.
The 1,000-metre
Thinking
trial, we have to
in
all keep our
hindsight.
eye on this. These 740 and these 800 and these 1,000 and 1,050-metre trials, they're gold.
They're gold.
Yeah,
Auto
so-
gold, another 33 from Mark Moore.
So just a point to make from Hawkesbury on Saturday on that very point was there was a 1,000-metre race where Gay's horse went around odds on, and the second pick was hard in the market, Snowden first starter, and they'd only had 735-metre trials.
Both of them?
Both of them.
They both can beat?
Both got distance. Well, both of them well beaten.
Wow.
And then we had Global Glamour as well.
Got beat?
Got beat.
Okay, so
We found gold here with these barrier trials. Let's keep it to ourselves. Oh, hang on, we've told everybody.
on that note, we'll proceed to the second section of the rant.
We're going to keep going or have a break? Have a break. I got a break.